Right now, the offense that stands out, and actually the game that stands out to me is Yankees at Minnesota. Hap against Odorizzi. Hap has been bad. Twins hit lefties really well. Odorizzi hasn't been very good either. He's been regressing like we've been calling it. Tonight they've had, look what they're doing tonight. No reason why they can't do that tomorrow night. To me, that's my number one game. But the team that I'm looking at that kind of popped out, that I'm not sure how many people are going to be on them or not. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I like the Braves a lot against Keller. He's coming off of 2 starts where he did really well, but one start was against the White Sox, and the other one was against the Tigers. So Braves are a 10 times better offense than those 2 teams. So people will look at Keller's box score and maybe think that he's going to be, a little bit better than he is. And I like the Braves tomorrow, probably just as much as the Twins or the Yankees.
I can't disagree with you, man. The Braves very good offense. I agree. Keller is not a great pitcher. I think that he's decent at times, especially when he's at home in that big Kansas City ballpark. But he's going to Atlanta, a much smaller park. And like you said, the Braves, this is going to be a really good offense. He just had 2 really bad ones, too. It doesn't really get much worse, other than maybe Miami. But the White Sox and Detroit have just been the nut spots. He caught Detroit when they were at their nut worst. He caught the White Sox they were in their nut worst, and now he's going to have to flip gears. So I'm with you. I think the Braves definitely stand out. And obviously, I would expect a lot of ownership in that Minnesota Yankees game just because the first 2 games of the series have just been nuts. They've been scoring a ton of runs. So I do expect people to go there. I actually do like the idea of going back to the Dodgers, even though they are ripping my balls out as we speak. I think Barria is a worse version of Pena. He throws similar pitches, relies on a slider. And I think his slider, in my opinion, is not nearly as good as Pena's. So I have a feeling the Dodgers are going to put it to him. It's also supposed to be really hot by you, Joe. For your standards, right? Like, it's supposed to be like almost 90 degrees. Which for...
Well, it's going to be humid. That's what it is. It's humid.
Right.
More than anything. So we know the ball flies a little more when it's humid. So, and it's not like, trust me, you guys on the East Coast, you're going to come out here and you'll be like, this is humid? And I'm like, yeah. For us, you know what I'm saying? Right. It's not like, walk off the plane and the first thing you do is you see like, the humidity. You can see it walking off the plane and it just hits you. It's not like that. Right. But it's more humid than normal. So it's a little bump to the bats. I like what you're saying about the Dodgers going back to them. People might not want to go back to them, but they've looks like they might lose 3 to the Angels right now, 3 games in a row, considering they lost 2 in Anaheim. So maybe they'll want to win tomorrow a lot. So the other team you got to be looking at is the Nats against Freeland.
Oh, how did we not talk about that? That should have been the first offense we spoke about. My bad. Yeah,
on the back end of, I think because there's no implied run total off right now, so we kind of look at the other kind of, So to me, it's like you're going to get the back end of a doubleheader. You have Freeland, who's been terrible this year, and you also get, hopefully, depending on how much they use their bullpen in the first game, hopefully you'll be getting that depleted Colorado bullpen in the second game also. So I like them. And then probably the final team, I'm going to still look at how these Cardinals match up against Jordan Lyles. He had a decent last start, but he's been bad before leading up to that. So I don't see why we can't maybe look into going back to him tomorrow too.
Maybe. The last team I'm trying to stack right now is the Cardinals. They just suck right now. I mean, like, granted, like they are starting to wake up, but I've been saying that for the last 2-3 weeks now. They're starting to wake up, and it's just really it's one player per night. It's like Goldschmidt hits a grand slam one night. Edmund hits 2 home runs one night. But like as a whole, they're having a hard time putting it together. I'm not totally like sold on Lyles either, so I understand. And I think from an ownership perspective, you'll get them extremely low owned, of course. For an 8-game slate, we actually have a pretty good. I actually like this slate a lot. We have like pitching, we've got hitting, like we got a little bit of everything, and there's only 8 games, so it's not a ton that we have to sift through. But we should see some more concentrated chalk. The Nationals probably pretty popular, but for good reason. I'm with you. I don't know how I forgot about that. We talked about the Nationals like before we even talked about hitters. We were like, oh yeah, they'll probably get the win because really, yeah, this is a really, really good spot on paper for the Nets. So they should be pretty popular. And I think that is going to do it for the slate breakdown portion of the show. Let's go ahead and get into